Starting the process tonight of brining my lamb for 14 hours. Lamb from Blackwell's Farm Butchers. Brining it in pink salt, Szechuan peppercorns and a few litres of water overnight. So it's Saturday morning, my lockdown Saturday, when I'm going to be smoking on the big green egg. So my lamb's been brining for about 14-15 hours now overnight, so that will tenderise a lot of the meat and give it loads of flavour. So I'm thinking, how do we take a shoulder of lamb up a notch and really make it indulgent, since there's nothing else to do during lockdown? Well, my recipe involves this little beauty, which is a large piece of hanger steak. I won't be using it all. Hanger steak is a really good cut because it's classed as one of the cheaper cuts, but it's really tasty and works really well on a barbecue or even on your pan. I've got some kaffir lime leaves, which give it a really zesty, lovely flavour, used a lot in Thai cooking. Some mushrooms, a little bit of brandy, some herbs I picked this morning from the garden and chopped up nice and fine. There's a mixture of oregano, mint, coriander and fennel pollen. Fennel pollen gives a more intense fennel flavour, so really good for this type of cooking. Some spring onions, some salt and pepper for seasoning, and I'll also be adding some spices in a bit. So I'm going to have to trim all this up and make sure it's properly butchered in terms of getting a lot of the fat off, and then I'll check back in later. So as you can see, it's a lot smaller. I've trimmed it down to a smaller size. We'll keep the rest for maybe a nice chili or something in the week, but taking all the gristle and fat bits away, so it is nice and lean. Good seasoning with salt and pepper, nice hot pan with a good healthy bit of butter, and in we go. So really all we're doing here is searing the sides, because it will give it a nice buttery flavour and it will start to render some of these marbly bits of fat down. It's going to be smoking for at least 5 hours with the lamb. So we just want to give it a bit of a seal, nothing too major. Little tip to give it some extra flavour. You can do this with whiskey, or you can do it with brandy, but it really wants to give it the torch to work. There we go. A little bit of flavour. Now be careful and stand back when you do this. Be careful not to cause any fires. Just let that burn off that alcohol, that brandy, and it will give it a lovely brandy flavour to your meat. Really good flavour. Just turn it a few times to make sure you don't take off your eyebrows with your blowtorch. We'll need that later to light the barbecue. And then what you want to do then, once you've got a nice seal on it, you can see that on the camera, nice seal on that, is turn your heat down and just leave it to rest. Now resting is as important as cooking. You really want to make sure you rest that well before you put it back on the heat, because it just gives it time to relax and everything tenderise and be lovely. And get your spring onions into the pan. If needed, another little knob of butter. I didn't say this was a healthy dish, but it's very flavoursome, and when we're in lockdown, we'll try a bit of butter. So that's just going to go round there. They're going to be lovely and crispy. Put your kaffir lime leaves in now, because they're going to add a lot of flavour, a bit of Thai flavour. Lovely. These aren't going to stay in, they're a bit like bay leaves. You don't want to chew on one of these because they'll be horrible. Just want to give it a few minutes till your onions start to sort of go translucent, if you like. You still want a bit of crunch to them. they're going to break down lovely. Now the thing is with the lime leaves, you don't need to use them very long because the flavour comes out. And what I did, little trick, just rip them slightly before I put them in, and that gets all of that lovely flavour out. Okay, they look pretty good. Pretty good. So we're just going to get the lime leaves out. And the mushrooms are going to go in because mushrooms won't take that long to cook. Turn the heat up just a tad. Like that. And it's really important that you use fresh herbs, not dried. The reason is, once they're dried herbs are good for one pot dishes where there's a huge amount of liquid because they reactivate, a bit like a dehydrated pasta. But fresh ones will flavour meat when smoking so much more. This is really sad, isn't it? But I've got nothing else to do with the lockdown. That looks pretty good. So what we're going to do now is just turn the heat off on that and put it to one side to cool while we start on the next step. See you in a minute. So now we've got our lamb shoulder trimmed up and ready to go. It looks a bit of a mess at the moment, but I can guarantee you it won't. Now the reason I use lamb shoulder rather than a lamb leg is A, it's a better value cut, but for low and slow smoking of 5-6 hours, something like that, the fat content is really great. And by the time you finish, it won't be over fatty because it all rendered down into that flavour. So it's a bit of a missed trick by someone when they go for the legs of lamb all the time. Now obviously it looks a bit of a mess now, but by the time we finish, it won't. So what I'm going to do is just, I've already seasoned it a bit, but we'll give it a nice big load of black pepper. Oh, and by the way, once you take it out of the brine water, it's really important that you rinse it well. You don't want any excess salt from the pink salt on there. Just a little bit of salt that's been brining, so not too much. Ground mixed spice. This is a mixture of lots of different spices and goes really well when you're smoking meat. So just a liberal going over this, I would say, over there. It gives it a lovely flavour. It goes perfect with lamb and beef. So red meat goes really well with. You can use other herbs and spices. Just grab the spoon. What we're going to do now is our mixture we cooked earlier. Lovely mushrooms, herbs, spring onions. We're just going to put these in the middle. Lovely like that. It's just going to flavour that meat with all those lovely herbs. Mushroom, quite a strong flavour. Spring onion, go brilliant with the herbs and spices that I've got. Now, your flank. This is why it's indulgent. That is going to go slap bang in the middle of this leg. Now, it doesn't look very appetising when we're going to cook. We're going to make it to a joint of meat with trusty butcher's string. So I'm going to roll it all up nice and tight so we can get some of that flavour in there. One final thing I'll add, just because I love it, and I can't get enough of it, is some dried chili flakes. So a bit of dried chili, just because I love it. And there it goes. Gives it a nice bit of heat. I'll get this rolled up, and then I'll back to see ya. Double thumbs up, not good. There we are, all wrapped up like a parcel. There is a bit of a technique to do it here, and it will fight you a little bit, but your local butcher can show you how to do it. Mine showed me how to do it. You'll probably be really disappointed in my attempt there. But essentially, as long as it's all together, there's no major gaps, that's going to cook lovely. And just to make it that little bit more unctuous, little tip with lamb that I like to do, because the flavours go so well, is Again, sharp knife. Make sure it's very sharp. Mind your fingers. And just make little incisions in the top of the fat. Just little 2 or 3 incisions. It's just going to add to the flavour. And what you want to do is just get some tinned anchovies in oil, and we're just going to stick these in the little incisions. Now these go really well with lamb and just give it more of that flavour. It's going to go well with the beef as well. They're hanging out, but that's fine. It's just going to flavour the meat as it goes down. So yeah, just a few of those in there, and we're ready to get barbecuing. See you in a bit.